Why is Donald Trump telling insane lies about the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel? That's the big question today, as the administration suddenly does an about face after pressuring ABC to suspend Kimmel. And Trump called it the firing of Kimmel. It's actually the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel. But the administration is now reversing and changing their story as to first they were celebrating getting Kimmel suspended and taken off the air. Now suddenly they're claiming they had nothing to do with it and this is not a First Amendment issue. Trump was speaking at a press conference with UK Prime Minister Starmer today, and he said this. This was the question about free speech.
And on a separate issue, free speech, your Vice President Vance said that free speech is under attack in the UK. Do you agree with him? And Prime Minister, we saw the dismissal of a very well-known chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel. Is free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than...
No. Kimmel was not fired for quote-unquote bad ratings. The ratings for the late-night TV industry and as a whole are not anything close to they used to be even 10 years ago, much less 20 years ago. Trump seems to have all of his ratings knowledge of what's a good rating simply from 20 years ago when he was doing The Apprentice. Kimmel was second in the late night ratings, firmly behind Colbert, who does 2.42 million viewers. Kimmel does 1.77 million viewers in the last quarter, and Jimmy Fallon was third at 1.19 million viewers. And for those who are interested, The Daily Show on Comedy Central does 994,000 nightly viewers. So yeah, those numbers, they aren't great. But the numbers across all of broadcast TV aren't great. I mean, the top broadcast show now will pull up for a few million viewers. Everything has changed in the era of streaming. Trump's lying, flat out lying, saying that Kimmel was dismissed due to poor ratings.
Anything else? And he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is...
Well, Kimmel didn't actually say anything about Charlie Kirk. Kimmel was making reference to the fact that there have been some reports that the shooter of Charlie Kirk may have been from a Republican household and was surrounded by right-wing ideology. He didn't say anything about Charlie Kirk, but
not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So
he didn't have bad ratings, and they shouldn't have fired him a long time ago. In fact, it's technically a suspension, but if you ask me, it's probably the odds of Kimmel ever coming back on ABC are slim to none. Why would Kimmel want to come back to a network that literally threw him under the bus and suspended him for something that wasn't even a statement about Charlie Kirk? And a network that caved so willingly to the Trump administration's pressure. This is the interesting thing. The administration has gotten blowback from the left and the right about this. And remember, Trump vowed on day one during his inaugural address on January 20th to end censorship in America. And what it looks like is he's imposing a whole new level of censorship based on whether or not he agrees with what's being said. So the administration is changing their story because this whole crackdown on the First Amendment isn't playing real well with anybody on the left or the right. And now suddenly FCC Chair Carr is saying that the FCC never pressured or threatened ABC when in fact he's on video on Benny Johnson's podcast saying that the FCC will take remedies and actions against ABC if they didn't suspend Kimmel. The real problem here is the fact that the big corporate media, the people who told you not to trust independent media like me and Politicus USA and The Daily with Sarah Jones, the people who told you forever that they are the gatekeepers and they are the ones who will stand up to power. Those corporate owners are the ones that are caving to Trump and helping to kill the First Amendment. So why is Trump lying about this? Trump is lying about this because it's unpopular and it's backfiring on the administration. This has everything to do with the First Amendment, everything to do with free speech, and hopefully somebody somewhere starts standing up for free speech rights, because the corporate media and the corporate owners of the biggest media companies, for the most part, are not going to do it. So individual liberties, the ability to criticize the government, are being limited, and that's going to have dangerous consequences for the future of this country. And the other thing is, just a reminder to Republicans who might be celebrating this, what goes around comes around. And in the future, if a Democratic administration would decide to adopt the same precedent toward conservative media, or, which I think is more likely, they would try to restore the equal time rule so that conservative media and places like Fox News and Newsmax, it would basically, the conservative equal time rule would destroy Fox News and Newsmax. It would start providing equal time and not just be able to talk about conservatism anymore and conservative issues in one point of view in partisan politics. So if that happens, if Democrats try that, nobody should want to hear conservatives howling about the First Amendment and free speech. Because if you care about the First Amendment, if you care about free speech, you need to oppose what's going on with this, what this administration is doing to anyone who vaguely criticizes them or has made fun of Trump or crossed Trump in the past. I'm Jason Eastley. I write for Politicus USA. I write for The Daily. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Politicus USA. Please like and subscribe to our Substack, Politicus USA, and The Daily with Sarah Jones. You can follow me on TikTok at Politicus USA. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. We'll see you soon.